if say Mbali comes to you, right, and she's not sure how to position herself. She's a senior construction professional. Obviously, the industry has gone through a lot of developments. COVID-19 wasn't very helpful either. So, and now they hear all these buzzwords, infrastructure development, stimulus packages. How would you advise or tell a senior construction professional to position themselves so that they are able to play a meaningful role in this recovery?
I mean, they have all the experience and the skills. Even I think the government even also, at some point even reiterated that, some professionals that have retired will be also called to task, to assist with their skills that they have with the young and upcoming skills that the government is producing that are coming through. So it's not all doom and gloom, when they hear of infrastructure development. It's something that's going to be played by each and every person in terms of age and race and whatever. So they have a very vital role to play. So I'd advise them and say, you know what, there needs to be a balance in the industry. You can't have an industry where it's only young professionals that are in the forefront, and you can't also have an industry that's only got old or senior professionals, that's going a bit backwards. But I think they need to strike a balance at some point and then find a common ground where these two forces can combine and actually work forward. So it's all about doing that, coming up with those strategies that can work, take these two forces and put them together and actually create something that will produce a sustainable infrastructure development for the future and for the next generation to come.
Thank you for that. Moving to you, Mbali, if you were to advise a junior professional in the construction space, what would you tell them to ensure that they play a meaningful role in this economic recovery?
So it's quite interesting. Like I said, because I've been in the industry for quite a while now. I think one of the things that people must acknowledge is that the industry is very cyclical. So I came in the industry when we went exactly the boom. I came into industry in 2002. That's how long I've been working. And we weren't really at a boom. But I've seen the industry go through a trough, going up all the way to a boom, and go sort of like slow down, see the heavy plateau, then slow down again. So I've ridden the wave, so to speak. And I think for young professionals, it's important for them to acknowledge this and to understand it. That you keep your head down, do your grind, and it's not going to be doom and gloom forever. There's certainly a lot of scope for this industry. There's a lot. I think Msebenzi at the beginning of his first answer, he alluded to it. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done in this country. Any country that has ever sought to develop itself and get into first world position has spent and invested a lot in its infrastructure, and we are no different in South Africa. I think we have a lot of infrastructure we have in place, but which is all sort of like very old, hasn't been maintained, or whatever the case might be. But there's also a lot of things to do. So there's a lot of things we must do in terms of rehabilitation and maintenance, but also new build. So that is coming. We've always known it's coming. It's just a matter of when. So for young professionals, I think they need to understand that it's coming, and it's not. COVID is not the end of us and end of our jobs. We must all go and take the next flight and go to Dubai, to Qatar to work there because there's work there. That's not the case, and I've seen it, and it happens. It's very discouraging. I know after 2010, the 2011 boom, everybody was very discouraged, because there wasn't a lot of work suddenly. The market was looking dry, but then Sunroll sort of came in. So you've almost always had, for the one well that went dry, another one came. I come from a civil space. And I'll make an example. When I entered the civil company in 2007, almost 80% of our revenue was coming from private sector. It was mines. That's why we did our work. It was the mining houses. We went and were doing work for the De Beers, the whoever's, and we were making money there. And then the platinum price did what it did. Those who are old enough, time will remember, the platinum price went from to well, like where it is today, you know, and those jobs sort of dried up. And it was very scary. It was a scary time, especially in the civil space. But then you've had the government coming up with a lot of the infrastructure spend, of the civil infrastructure spend. So, you know, there's a lot of potential in the industry. If you look at how the economy is set, there's a lot that needs to happen in terms of the industry, in terms of infrastructure development. So certainly for a young person going to school, not even maybe even working, going into school and considering a career in this space, I would say they must go for it, because we are really nowhere near where we need to be as a country. You look at the population growth, you look at the number of people that we are housing. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that a lot of work needs to go towards developing this country. So certainly there's space to grow, there's room to grow. Msebenzi and his peers need to keep at it, keep shining. And, you know, I always tell people, when you do hard work, sometimes you feel like people around you aren't seeing it. But if you are applying yourself well enough and you're putting out your best, it will come out. You know, because a person who works, I always say, is like a light. Some people always say, but what if I've got a manager who doesn't like me or whatever? I say, a good worker, a person who works, who's great, is like light. You can close it up, but you will find a crack and shine through the crack. And soon enough, somebody else will recognize it. So the hard work does not go unnoticed.